From the capital city of Charleston, West Virginia, this is Inside West Virginia Politics with Rick Johnson. Inside West Virginia Politics is brought to you by AARP West Virginia, your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State, and by Williamson Health and Wellness Center, working to open doors to broader health care in southern West Virginia and eastern Kentucky. Now, Inside West Virginia Politics.
Hello and welcome to Inside West Virginia Politics. I'm Rick Johnson. Our first guest is a member of the West Virginia House of Delegates, and he is the new chairman of the West Virginia Republican Party. We welcome Chairman Joshua Holstein. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Born and raised in the southern coalfields of West Virginia. I've lived in Boone County my entire life. Proud son of generations of coal miners. Grew up in a household where my mom worked in a medical office as a clerk, and my dad worked in the coal mines. And been in church my entire life and have a deep background of Christian faith. And I'm also a bluegrass musician. Been involved in politics here in West Virginia since I've been a teenager. And started as a volunteer for Congresswoman Carol Miller and worked my way up, through the ladder, became a member of the House, and now the chairman of the West Virginia Republican Party.
We have to get this out of the way.
Sure.
Or I would be accused of bearing the lead. Your age is?
23.
23?
Yes, sir.
Got it out of the way.
Absolutely.
There you go. You have done a lot in your 23 years.
Absolutely.
What's your motivation?
Well, my motivation is I believe in the values of the Republican Party, and they're my values. They're the values, I believe, of the majority of West Virginians, particularly those in southern West Virginia that have been my friends, family, and neighbors my entire life. And I believe that those values are important and worth the fight for. And that's what I want to do is fight and protect and preserve those values.
I've noticed that you represent the 32nd District, I believe.
That's right.
Which is Boone County. Yep. And tell us a little bit about the people there. What kind of folks are they?
Absolutely. The folks of Boone County, working class folks, they're just down to earth people. And they don't expect a lot, but they expect you to listen to them. And I think that's what the people of West Virginia want. They want somebody that will listen to them and actually fight for what they want, and not just what pundits on television or other politicians are talking about nationally. They want to talk about the issues that affect them. And when I first ran for office, I ran on a new generation of leadership, because a lot of folks felt like the leadership of the past hadn't listened to them in forever. And I hope that I've been able to communicate that, and I feel that I have.
Tell us about we've got the midterms coming up. Or the primary election in the state of West Virginia. Any plans that you can talk about for that? I know it's months and months away, but are you planning anything now?
Well, absolutely. We're going to have an outreach campaign to all of our independents to let them know that the upcoming primary election is going to be closed, and we invite them to join the Republican Party. So for those of you that are listening today, we'd love to have you join the Republican Party. Please visit the Secretary of State's office or your county clerk's office online and make that change. We'd love for you to be part of the party. But yeah, we're going to have an outreach campaign. We'll have a GOTV, Get Out the Vote effort. And we'll work with all of our candidates to make sure they're successful across the state. You
mentioned the closed primary for Republicans. Were you in favor of that?
So, as a member of the State Executive Committee, I voted to close, but I have remained neutral as chairman. Because of my position, I think it's important for me to respect the will of the committee. And frankly, that wasn't an easy decision for me. It was very difficult, and I went back and forth on the issue. Actually, I had the unique opportunity, being a member of the Resolutions Committee and a member of the body. I actually voted to keep it open in the Resolutions Committee, and then voted for the 2026 closing on the floor. Because as a compromise. So again, my job as chairman is not about what Josh thinks about it. It's about what the State Executive Committee feels, and whatever decision if they've made a decision, if they make another one, then I'll support that as well.
We have about 1 minute remaining. I wanted to ask you again about the age thing. It's you're 23. That has to put you as one of the youngest, if not the youngest, chairman of the state Republican Party in history.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm the youngest, I believe. So it's an honor. It really is, and I think that speaks to the confidence that the folks of the State Executive Committee who know me and have known me for years know that I'm able to do the job, and they have faith that I can do that and execute the plans that we have. So I'm thankful, grateful, and I'm looking forward to working for the party.
And there is, you might be the youngest political party leader in the country.
That's right. That's right. The RNC told me they believe that that's true. So again, it's a great honor.
Well, congratulations,
Thank you, sir.
and
Appreciate
thanks for being
it.
here
Thank you.
today.
Of
We
course.
do appreciate
Absolutely.
it very much.
Yes, sir.
That is Joshua Holstein. He is, among other things, the delegate from Boone County, and he also is the West Virginia Republican Party state chairman. We're going to take a quick break and be right back on Inside West Virginia Politics. Welcome back to Inside West Virginia Politics. I'm Rick Johnson, and with us is the West Virginia State Treasurer, Larry Pack. Larry, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Rick. Thanks so much for the opportunity.
Well, you're back again. You're a return guest, and we sure appreciate you coming in.
My privilege.
Now, here recently, you were able to present what you have been doing. The unclaimed property division of your office does go out and takes money out of this account. I guess it's, well, I'll let you explain that in just a moment. But what you do, then you're able to help organizations around the state with some funding, like Prestera, which I believe was the recipient of the most recent check, and it was $20,000.
Yeah, it was a blessing to do that this morning. We went to Prestera here on Moore Street, gave them a check for over $20,000, which was their money that had been unclaimed for many years. Working with our team and their team, we're able to identify that money and get it back to them this morning. That's a big part of what we do in the Treasurer's Office. We returned over $40 million last fiscal year to to West Virginians all around the state. We do the check presentations as much as anything just to bring awareness of the program. We're trying to get people to go to the website to see if they have any unclaimed property or one of their neighbors or the family members. Yeah. So that's a big reason we do that, and we're so thankful for the coverage we get when we go out.
Now, you mentioned $40 million. I think that's a record.
That is a record. The year before it was $28 million. So we're getting better. We're working harder to be able to get money back. But in our online economy, there's just so many different ways that a check can get missed. The money can't get back to an individual, to a business, to a nonprofit. And it's all about, sometimes it's a deposit, sometimes it's a refund from a financial institution, or maybe a health insurance. It could be a dormant account. There's just so many different ways. It could be a royalty check, dividend check, or with our elderly parents and so forth. So sometimes it's an account we didn't even know they had. So we work really hard to be able to return that money back. We had a really successful year. We're going to try to beat it again this year.
It's the ultimate lost and found. And it's for, as you say, it's for anybody and everybody to go to the website and check. You never know until you go to the website.
You never know. My neighbor, over the weekend, I ran into one of my neighbors on the street. We're walking, and she said she had $50. She said that bought her lunch for her and her family. So you just never know whether it's a small amount of money or a $20,000 check like we've given today. But everybody can have that, even if you think you're really good on accounts, because it's just so easy for a check to get lost or somebody to put your address in a computer the wrong way. And we know once it's in there wrong, it's hard to get it fixed. So please go to the website. Please check to see if you have any money.
We'll give out that website here in just a moment. Before we do run out of time, I wanted to ask you about Governor Morrisey released last week that the state has closed a fiscal year with a total year-end surplus of $338.5 million. That is remarkable because months ago we were talking about a projected deficit. So how did we get from the deficit to this nice surplus?
I was in the Justice Administration, and part of my duties was to put this budget together, the budget that just ended, the fiscal year just ended on June 30 for Governor Justice. We submitted to the legislature, they approved it. We expected to have this type of surplus, over $300 million, when we submitted it to the legislature in January of 24. So this is not new news. I think the governor, when he came in, Governor Morrison, when he came in, his team was new and they were getting their arms around stuff, and so maybe they saw some things that they didn't expect, but we felt really good about it. West Virginia is in a really strong financial position, whether it's the balance sheet, the money in the bank, or the money coming in. But we're still West Virginia, right? So we have to watch our P's and Q's. We have to make sure that we don't overspend in certain areas. But we're in a really good financial state. We should be proud of it. And we also have done that with after we passed the $1 billion a year tax cut. So without that $1 billion a year tax cut, it would have been well over $1 billion. But we believe in West Virginians keeping their money. We think taxpayers know better how to spend it, and definitely spend it much better than the government. But we feel good about it. We're excited about it, and we look forward to this year.
Well, before we do run out of time, let's go back quickly to the unclaimed property division. And if I or anybody wanted to find out if they may have lost some money along the way, where they might be able to find that, or what's the, I have unclaimedproperty.gov. Is it that easy?
It's that easy, or really just Google West Virginia Treasurer. You go to our website, it has an unclaimed property, just click on that and it'll take you right to it. There's also a telephone number if you're not real computer savvy like me, just call someone. We got a good staff, they'll help you through it. But please check it out and let's see if we can get some money back to you.
Treasurer, thank you so much for being with us again today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Rick.
We'll take a break and be right back with more of Inside West Virginia Politics. Welcome back to Inside West Virginia Politics. So you say you want to be a poll worker on Election Day. You're in luck because over 8,000 poll workers are needed and required for a statewide election in the Mountain State. Now, to tell us more about this very important need and how you can get involved, here is West Virginia Secretary of State Chris Warner. Hello, Mr. Secretary of State.
Good to see you, Rick.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
So over 8,000 poll workers are going to be required for the next election here in the Mountain State. First off, how did that number come about? Is that a divide this and multiply that?
A little bit of that. We have 1,651 precincts in West Virginia. It takes 5 poll workers in every one of those precincts, and that gives you 8,255. At about an expense of $2 million to the state of West Virginia to conduct a general election.
All right, let's just jump right into this. What are the requirements for being a poll worker in the state?
The only requirement is you need to be a registered voter in the state, and you can serve as a poll worker, Rick.
So that's pretty easy, and I know we certainly welcome and appreciate all the poll workers who come out and volunteer their time on that very important day. Is there, as well though, are we looking for some younger poll workers?
You know, we get an opportunity when we're in the schools working on our Jennings Randolph Award, where we try to help register high school seniors, and we mention to them as a side benefit, in addition to being registered to vote, they have the opportunity to become a poll worker, and the pay ranges anywhere from $150 to $300 for the day, and that includes the 2-hour training that's necessary before they get to be a poll worker.
So it's not only an opportunity to volunteer and give back to your community, but also to get paid at the same time.
Absolutely, and it's a great opportunity. You know, people talk about election integrity and how the elections are run. There's no better way than to be a poll worker, go through the entire process, quite frankly, and see all the checks and balances that are in place to see how safe, secure, fair, and honest our elections are in West Virginia.
You know, one of the things I think I've voted in every presidential election since I was allowed to vote, it was always, and it is always encouraging to walk into your polling place, you look around, and you see familiar faces. These are your neighbors. These are maybe somebody you work with. That always gives you a feeling of confidence in the process, or it does me anyway.
The same here, Rick, and quite frankly, for those young people that you just mentioned, if they go into the polls and see a bunch of older people, that might be one message. But if they see their classmates there working, I think they're going to be more confident and comfortable in the process of voting.
And let's talk about the training just a little bit. Is it something that takes hours and hours to get trained up to do, or what's the process there?
The county clerks make that very easy. It's a 2-hour training process. They do require folks to pay attention and be on top of their game when they come for the 2-hour training. I've had an opportunity to, we're working on a 55 county tour, and we've been to 54 of the county clerks' offices and the county courthouses, and get to hear how they each do it. Some have one training if it's a small county, and then our larger counties have several trainings in various parts of the county. So they make it as easy as possible.
And how does one get more information about becoming a poll worker or even actually volunteer? Is there a website?
Yeah, it's govotewv.com. The other way to become a poll worker is to get a hold of your county chairman of your political party in your home county.
And we also want to mention that this Tuesday, August the 12th, is National Poll Worker Recruitment Day. That'd be a good time to sign up, wouldn't it?
It is. We have 9 months, but this has been a concern of several of the county clerks that I've spoken to in the last month. They're concerned about making sure they have enough poll workers, so we're getting started early and want folks to be aware of what it takes to be a poll worker.
Secretary of State Chris Warner, thank you for your time today.
Rick, it's great to be with you.
We'll take a break and be right back with more of Inside West Virginia Politics. Welcome back to Inside West Virginia Politics. Up next, Governor Patrick Morrisey goes on the record with Amanda Barron about his recent visit to the nation's capital.
Thank you so much for being here, Governor. You spent some time yesterday in Washington, D.C., in our nation's capital, alongside the Health and Human Services Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and the Agricultural Secretary, Brooke Rollins, to talk about the changes to SNAP benefits. Give everyone the Cliff Notes version of what's changing come January when it comes to SNAP benefits in West Virginia.
Absolutely. And first, I want to start out by thanking you for covering this, because we have an opportunity that's really unique in West Virginia's history to help make our state healthy again. And I'm very happy to partner with President Donald J. Trump, with Brooke Rollins, the Agricultural Secretary, and with RFK, the HHS Secretary. And as many people know, they've been looking at a wide variety of initiatives to help get our country healthier. And so in West Virginia, we've built on that to establish pillars of healthcare. People know about the Mountain Hero Mile and the work that we're doing to exercise and get people in better shape. That's actually catching on around the state. We have that in all the 32 state parks. We have that in so many counties. More people are walking. They're more energetic again. People know that we're asking people to lead more healthy, purposeful lives and getting more people out to work. And then, of course, we're trying to get the crap out of the food. And we talked about that in the past in terms of the dyes and some of the processed foods, the importance of changing that. But then there's the piece related to some of the public assistance, the SNAP program. So yesterday I was in Washington, D.C., working on the SNAP waiver that we requested with Brooke Rollins, the Ag Secretary. And the goal is to no longer have taxpayers subsidizing soda, because this ensures that the items that are going to be covered under SNAP focus on nutrition. If you look at SNAP, it's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. We want to put the N back into SNAP for nutrition, and soda is not nutritious. And that's part of the reason why we did it. West Virginia's healthcare outcomes are some of the worst in the country. Obesity, diabetes, congestive heart failure, COPD, so many different things. We want to make a difference, and to improve those outcomes, I want to work with President Trump on a series of initiatives to make it happen. So our SNAP waiver was granted, and so beginning January 1st, 2026, there will not be the taxpayer subsidizing of soda. People can still purchase the soda on their own. Remember, this is Supplemental Nutritious Assistance Program. It doesn't mean that you're not prohibited from getting something, but I think it's going to make a difference for our people.
Sure, and you kind of touched on it already, but you're saying that if somebody wants something like that, which would be considered a treat necessary in many of our lives, that's not something that the taxpayer should be footing the bill for.
That's correct. Absolutely.
So let's talk about the other portion of this. There's another waiver that is out there right now that West Virginia is waiting on, and that's when it comes to hot foods. What can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So we've been talking with them because I thought it was important to pair up what we're doing on the soda side with something very positive in terms of giving people the opportunity to have fresh chicken, hot chicken, rotisserie chicken, and some of the other lean proteins. And so we're still working with the agricultural department on that. I've been a big believer that you want to make sure if you're not going to have it for soda, we could open up the opportunity to provide for fresher alternatives and healthy bundles. So we're still working on that front, but everything takes time, step by step. We had yesterday's announcement We're going to have more to come in terms of the healthier food options. I'm optimistic about that. We had good meetings yesterday, and I think that it's just a question of when, not if, and that's going to make a difference for West Virginia. Everything has to be designed to improve healthcare outcomes in our state.
When we talk about some of this, this is not just, so this is pop or soda soda pop, whatever you like to call it. It's with the, all the calories, with no calories, and with some of the zeros and the sugar-free. How did you guys come up with those parameters?
Well, we were looking at the things that didn't have nutrition. You could argue there could be other items that are added, but we thought that we looked at the consumption of soda without nutrition, and that represents potentially 8 to 10% of program expenditures. And we thought there's a better use of the money. Remember, if the money stays the same, people can use those dollars to purchase other healthier options. So that was a big part of it, but it didn't affect the water. It didn't affect the apple juice and the orange juice and a lot of the basics that people rely on, the milk. All of that remains in effect. But this is meant to say, look, there's absolutely no argument that there's even nutrition in these sodas. Why are the taxpayers paying for it? But look, if you want to have a soda, you want to have a Coke or Dr. Pepper, no one's stopping that, and no one's putting mandates that you can't have that. Not at all.
Governor Patrick Morrisey on the record with Amanda Barron. That's all the time we have for Inside West Virginia Politics. Remember, you can listen to our podcast wherever you want and whenever you want. Have a great week. I'm Rick Johnson.